Hi team, I hope you're all well. Today we are going to be doing my November wrap up. I have been waiting for my Goodreads Choice Awards vlog to be finished to be able to film this because I didn't want to spoil my thoughts on some of the books that are in this stack that I did manage to read in November for that video. The rest of the books that I did read for that video will be my December wrap up, so that's why this is coming after. But it's finally time to get this filmed. I don't think my last couple of wrap-ups I think have been really long. I did like a speedy one where I spent I think less than a minute on each book, and then my last one was like nearly an hour long, and I really don't want to do that again. All of these books I have done full thoughts and reviews on in vlogs throughout the month, and I will mention what vlogs they will be when I pick the book up and let you know what the vlog is, and I will link them all in the description box down below, and they will be up here somewhere as well. There are only 3 books in this video that were not featured in a vlog, and therefore don't have full reviews of them, so I will let you know my full thoughts on those 3 because they were in a Patreon exclusive weekly vlog that I filmed in the background of the Goodreads Choice Awards video. I was losing my mind not weekly filming, so I just did a Patreon one and I had like some dedicated reads that I needed to get to for review, so I needed to read them, and then suddenly realised that they are actually pretty good books and I don't have them featured in an actual video, so success for that. They will get 4 reviews in here, so you won't get like full-blown thoughts from me. You will get a rating. I will very quickly let you know what genre the book is and what my very quick thoughts are, and I'm going to try and keep this as quickly as possible because I'm sick to death of editing hour-long wrap-ups. There's no need. I've already done really long vlogs for these books. So as far as stats are concerned, I did read 23 books in November, which isn't too bad. It's not my highest, it's also not my lowest month, so it's not too bad. And I read a total of 6,978 pages, which again, not too bad, not my highest, not my lowest. I listened to a total of 125 hours and 45 minutes of audiobook. That's what I listened to. I was just gonna say that didn't make any sense. I think that's right anyway, whatever. 125 hours of audiobook listening, that's what I listened to. And the actual books that I read, I'm sorry, I've screenshotted it all on my phone so that I know what I'm fucking doing, but apparently I still don't know what I'm fucking doing, so here we are. Okay, so the first video that I did read in November was a 24-hour timer challenge. Was it a timer challenge? It was 24-hour timer challenge, but chaos mode was activated. I had a specific type of video that I wanted to do and it did not work out that way, and this is how it worked out instead. I read all of these books. Now that's probably the best I've done in a 24-hour time challenge, I'm not gonna lie, so maybe I need to enter chaos mode more often than not with a 10 or 24-hour timer challenge. I did start off this challenge with Merry Little Mishap by Vivian May, which was an arc, and I gave it 3 stars. This was good. I didn't hate it. It's a novella, so it is going to be short. We're going to learn about the characters very quickly. The smut is going to come in very quickly. The smut was great. I enjoyed that aspect of things, but for me it was just very quick, and I know it's a novella, so I know that's the point, but it was just a little bit too quick for me. There's another novella, Christmas novella in here that I will show a comparison of and how you can still do a slow burn in a novella and it can work. You can do it. But for me, 3 stars with this. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was just a middle of the road book and I had a good time. It was fine. I did then go on to The Night Guest by Hildur Nutsdottir. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, my apologies. This is a translated horror and this was really good. I did end up giving this 4 stars, again a novella, but it was really good. I had a good time with this. It was very quick to read as well because on some pages you got barely any text, and this is essentially about a woman who feels exhausted every single morning when she gets up, and she seems to be noticing that she's got like mud on her and things like that. She's wondering what the heck is going on. She's been going back and forth to the doctors. They keep blaming it on women's stuff, obviously, and one night she falls asleep with this new smartwatch that she's got, you know, that counts your steps, and she ends up waking up to find that she's done 40,000 steps in the night and she doesn't understand why. So slowly but surely she starts to implement like cameras and stuff like that, and it's very good. I had a good time with it. 4 stars for this one. I think my aim with this vlog, if I remember, was to read horror books. So, but it just ended up going tits up, and I can't remember the reason why. Obviously, it was the beginning of November. I can't remember the reason why it went tits up, but regardless, the next book that I did read is The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. This is an Evernight edition of this book, and it terrifies the shit out of me. So I've been avoiding picking it up despite the fact that I've heard great things. I gave it 4 stars. It was fantastic. I had a very good time with it. This was really good. We're following a young woman who, for all of her life, her mum has always eaten the eyes of the fish or the meal, whatever it is that they're eating, saying that the eyes are the best part, they're good for your soul, etc, etc. And she lives with her mother and her sister, and her mum gets this new boyfriend after her dad like kind of disappears and leaves the family. Many years later, her mum gets this new boyfriend who is a white man. They are Asian, and he's essentially he's got a fetish with Asian women. Struggles with that word, and he's doing it with her mum, but with her as well and her sister. He makes really inappropriate comments and things like that. For some reason, she can't stop thinking about eating his eyes. It's really bizarre. It's very strange. It was very good though. I really enjoyed this. It was quite horrifying and quite terrifying, but I had a great time with it and gave it 4 stars. Next, we did have Everyone on This Train is a Suspect by Benjamin Stevenson. Maybe it wasn't horror then, because this is a thriller. I don't know what my point was. Go and watch the vlog. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, I gave this one 4.5 stars, and I did end up bumping the rating up of Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone from 4.5 to 5, because I really, really enjoyed this, but not as much as the first one. So, the first one then got 5 stars. This one got 4.5. We are back with our main character who... We are back with our main character, Ernest, who, on this one, he's going on a writing retreat, essentially, and somebody dies, and everyone on the train is a suspect, and he's trying to figure out what has happened. Very simple concept, very well executed, broke the 3rd wall like the 4th wall, broke the 4th wall like the first one did. Very well done. I just preferred the first one ever so slightly more. I'm excited to get to the Christmas one, though. Then we had a book that I did not, this came so out of left field. I was so excited to read it. It's not officially out yet in the UK, so I managed to get my hands on a US copy. The audiobook is now out in the UK, which is fucking typical, but I probably will go back and listen to that audiobook. But I did end up picking Incidents Around the House by Josh Malerman, and I physically read this book. It's been a long time since I've actually like physically read a book that wasn't on my Kindle. And this is told from the perspective of 8-year-old Bella, who has her mum and dad, and then she's got other mummy that comes out of the closet, but slowly but surely other mummy starts creeping into other areas of her life and keeps asking whether or not she can have her soul. And Bella keeps telling her no, she knows something isn't right, and the whole book is told from Bella's perspective, and I thought that would irritate the life out of me, and it just didn't. I just really enjoyed this. It gave me the creeps, it gave me the heebie-jeebies. I had to put it down at night because it was freaking me out, and I was terrified of the mummy was going to come out of my closet because she was terrifying. And this is what I want from a horror novel for me. Middle grade horror is the only horror that's ever really truly given me the heebie-jeebies. Until this was terrifying, and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. It was fantastic, and I had a very good time with it, so I'm glad that I gave it a chance, and I'm excited to try it again, but with the audiobook. I'm interested to see what they've done with the audiobook, whether or not Bella actually sounds like a child or not, so we will see. Next, I did read Cherry Blossom After Winter Volume 1. This was sent to me by Inklaw, so thank you very much for sending me this one. I truly appreciate it. I gave this 5 stars. If you enjoy Heartstopper, you're going to love this. It's very, very good. I believe it's already a K-drama, and I'm already really excited for Volume 2 to come out early on next year. So I'm really looking forward to this. It was great, and I'm having a very good time with it. Again, it was in the 24-hour vlog. I'm not going to go into the synopsis of it. I've already spent too long on those other books. Then I did read Opposites Attract Volume 1. I gave this one 3.5 stars, and honestly, now that I'm thinking about it again, maybe it should be a 3. This was cute. I thought it was going to be more about the dogs, and it's not. It's more about these two kind of making friends, and I don't know if it's going to become a relationship, but he obviously has like a tiny pupper. She's got a really big Rottweiler, and She seems to be very strong, and I'm not sure why they keep focusing on how strong she is, but I don't know where it's meant to be going with the whole strongness of it. And he's obviously like, you know, a big strapping lad, and she keeps banging on about how soft he is. He's got this fluffy little cutesy little dog, and it just to her doesn't make sense, but similarly it doesn't make sense to him that she's got this giant fucking Rottweiler and she's teeny tiny Galley. Like, people can have whatever dog they want. I make no judgments on what dog you want. You've got a dog, outstanding news. I am a dog person. So I don't know, 3.5 stars. It was a little bit strange to me. I didn't love it. I don't know if I'll continue on with it, to be perfectly honest. Then I did read Firelight Apprentice by Brie Paulson. I have read a few books from Brie Paulson before. I love Garlic and the Vampire and Garlic and the Witch, was so good. And then I didn't know that she had a new one out, so I ended up getting this and then reading it immediately when it came in, and it was really good. I really liked the magic in here and the world, and I really liked the story as well. It was very, very good. The illustration style is really, really cute, and I had a very good time with it. I ended up giving it 4 stars. Really enjoyed this one. And then last but not by no means least, for that video specifically, the 24-hour vlog, I did read Naughty on Ice by Sophie Snow, which is a Christmas novella. The other Christmas novella I was just talking about compared to Merry Little Mishap. Now this is how you make a Christmas novella a slow burn. We are following Rora and also Henry. Rora has come back to her hometown and has, for Christmas, her parents kind of travel all over the world. They're photographers. She's also a photographer, and she's come back to her hometown to help her best friend out with taking photos at their toy shop in town. This town is obsessed with Christmas all year round, and her best friend's dad runs the toy shop. Now he's ended up having an accident putting Christmas decorations up and broke his legs, so his brother Henry has decided to come and play Santa for the year instead of him doing it. They've all kind of done it in his family for a long time. Henry is very willing to do this. Now Henry is 19 years older than Rora, and we very quickly have like a moment between the two of them that I was 100% on board with. Some people might think it's too lusty, too insta love. I really enjoyed it, and throughout the story I just really respected and loved the boundaries that were in this. Rora makes a very good point of asking her best friend whether or not it would be okay to make a move on Henry, her uncle Henry. So she's very respectful of that and letting her know in advance. It's not like a secret from her to begin, from the beginning. It's a secret from her best friend's parents because they've essentially brought Rora up, but it's not a secret from her best friend, which I really respected. And the way that they communicated as well was fascinating. I just absolutely loved this, everything about it. It was so good. I ended up giving this 5 stars, and I would highly recommend giving it a read. I'm fairly certain it's on Kindle Unlimited. If you wanted to give it a read while it's festive season, I would recommend it. Then I did go on complete switch from a Christmas smutty novella. I then did go on to do the ultimate book video, which I really, really enjoyed and I want to do a festive version of. And I ended up reading Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, which is one of my most anticipated books of the year, but I just didn't have chance to pick it up until this point. So I made a point of doing a dedicated video to it, which was the ultimate book video, in which I did some book shopping and some other ultimate bookish stuff and read one of my most anticipated books of the year, and it did not disappoint. Abby Jimenez comes in every single time. 5 stars for this. I absolutely loved it, and the way that it all wrapped up together with Part of Your World and Yours Truly. Please read these in order. Part of Your World, Yours Truly, Just for the Summer. Read them in order, because otherwise the reveals at the end where it all comes together and ties everything together in a neat little bow, she does it every single time perfectly, it won't make sense to you. You will miss out on it all. So I would highly recommend reading them in order, but this 5 stars, absolutely loved it. So glad that I've managed to read it before the end of the year as well. Okay, next I did the final book support group vlog, which did not go quite to plan, and I actually lied about where Naughty or Nice came in my videos. It was in the final book support group vlog, not in the 24-hour timer challenge. This wrap up has become chaos mode activated. So this was in the final book support group vlog. Don't ask me why, it just was. It must have been when the art came in, because I got it early. So I did, for this video, start off with Blue Flag Volume 5, which I gave 3 stars. Now, I've been enjoying this series, but at this point now, I'm kind of losing my way with it a little bit, so much so that I actually picked up Blue Flag Volume 6 during this vlog as well, but didn't finish it off. It's still in my TBR cart unfinished. So I don't know if I'm going to continue on with it, because I only have volume 6, 7 and 8 left to go to finish it off, but I just don't think I care anymore. I was starting to lose my way with it a little bit. We were following 4 people essentially, 2 guy friends who have been friends for a very long time and start to reconnect again. One of them is in love with the other and he doesn't know, and then we've got 2 girlfriends who, her and her best friend, now she's into him and asks for his help to get to him, and he agrees to start off with. Now her best friend, the other girl, is in love with her, and these 2 figure out each other's secrets. So what ends up happening is, as these 2 spend more time together trying to help get her near him, these 2 end up liking each other and they're now in a relationship. But another girl has come into this whole thing, his ex-girlfriend I think, and I just don't know where it's going, and I'm kind of lost interest a little bit as well. I kind of really wanted it to, I don't know, wrap up really neatly with maybe like these 2 realising they've both got feelings for each other, and maybe these 2, and I don't know if that was just too much perfection that I was asking for, to be perfectly honest. But I don't know if I'm on board with this. I don't think I like it at all. So I think that's why I lost interest. I ended up giving it 3 stars. Whether or not I continue, I don't know, we'll see. Then I did read The Situationship, which is a very, very short story from Abby Jimenez, which follows 2 characters that we meet in Just for Summer. So I did read this not long after finishing Just for Summer, and I gave it 5 stars, but it's literally like 39 pages, and I really hope Abby does a full-length novel following them, because already from those 39 pages, I am obsessed with the pair of them, and I think we would get a fantastic full-length novel from them. So I loved that one, 5 stars. Then I did read The Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole, which I gave 4.5 stars. I really, really, really enjoyed this. The cliffhanger that we are left on with this, I immediately wanted to go into the next one, but just did not have the time because I knew the Goodreads video was coming up very, very soon. So I do want to try and continue on with this series very, very soon, but I know I've got Glow now, it's come out, and I know that the one after Glow is out as well. It's been released anyway. It's on Kindle Unlimited, and I know that the the indie published ones are being pulled from the shelves very, very soon and being replaced with traditionally published, but I don't know when the last one is coming out. I think it's going to be called Burn of the Everflame. I don't know when, there's no date on that one yet. Penn Cole, I've just read an announcement this morning, there's no full date on that one yet. So I kind of also want to take my time a little bit, but I really, really enjoyed this one and ended up giving it 4.5 stars. I also read What Feasts at Night by T. Kingfisher, which I also gave 4.5 stars. I actually think I enjoyed this one a little bit more than What Moves the Dead, which I really liked. And this one did wrap up the series, or at least up until this point. If we get more from these characters in this series, I would not be mad at all. But I really enjoyed this one. It gave it 4.5 stars. And then I did also read Here With Me by Brooke Montgomery, which is actually book 1 in the Sugarland Creek series. I've been through this with you repeatedly now, but I got an arc of book 3, which I read, gave 5 stars, and then before I got an arc of book 4, my promise to myself was to read books 1 and 2, which I didn't manage to do. I started book 1, got 50 pages in, then my arc for book 4 came in. So I put this down, read book 4, and now here we are, and I've read book... Is that right? Yeah, and this is book 1, so I need to now go back and read book 2 before the final book, book 5, comes out next year. Talk about being messy. Would I recommend reading these in order? Yes, I would. Do you have to? Absolutely not. You don't have to at all, but I would recommend it. 5 stars for this one. I've given them all 5 stars so far, so that's 3 5-star reads from Brooke Montgomery. I have book 2 to read, and I've also got book 0.5, which is a novella as well, to read, a prequel. So I want to read both of those before book 5 comes out, and if they all get 5 stars, Brooke Montgomery will be rivaling Abby Jimenez for my favourite author ever, which Paisley Hope, to be perfectly honest, is well on her way to doing so as well, because I've already got 3 5-star reads from her this year alone. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, 5 stars for this. Okay, I then went on to do the Patreon weekly vlog because I was missing out on weekly vlogging. I don't know what I will do with myself as a person if I ever stop with YouTube, because I love weekly vlogging. I love it. It's a place for me to ramble and to rant and to yap, and I just really enjoy it. So I don't know what I'll ever do with myself, so I was missing it while doing the Goodreads video. But I did end up reading 4 books during that vlog, but one of them was for the Goodreads Choice Awards, and I did mention it ever so briefly, but it's obviously, I'm going to mention it with the other books that I've got in this pile for the Goodreads Choice Awards. But I did read 3 books in this video, and the first one was The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent, which is book 1 in the Shadowborn duet series, but it's book 3 in the Crowns of Nyaxia series. So this is a series that will be split up into several duologies, I think. The overall series will be Crowns of Nyaxia, but we will have, you know, you've got the dark... What is that series? What is that one called? Nightborn. I knew it had the word night in it. Nightborn duet, Serpent and the Wings of Night and The Ashes and Starkest King. And then this is the first in the Shadowborn duet, which is The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. And I really enjoyed this one. I ended up giving it 4 stars. We do end up following Mish, who we meet in the first duet. And we end up following her. I think... when I will reread this when the second one comes out, and I think I may enjoy it a little bit more once I've reread it, because I kind of lost it took me a long time to remember where I knew Misha from, and I think what I want to do is reread the first duet and then reread this, and then I'll read the next one in this series, and that will refresh my memory, and I think I will enjoy this a little bit more. But I didn't hate it. I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed my time with it, actually, but I think I can enjoy it better, can enjoy it more, you know? Does that make sense? Anyway, I read that one. I also read Variation by Rebecca Yarros, which was not on my radar at all. This is a contemporary from her, and it wasn't on my radar at all until Tandem reached out to me and asked did I want to be involved in the read along, and I was like, yeah, sure, sounds good. I freaking loved this. We are following an elite ballerina who is called Ali, and we're also following a Coast Guard rescue swimmer called Hudson, and we basically follow them over the course of many years. So we meet them when they're young adults. He is still training to become a Coast Guard, and she is obviously doing her ballet. She comes from a line of ballet dancers. She's got 2 other sisters, one younger than her, one older than her, and we meet them basically. The 2 girls, Ali and her younger sister, are in a boat and it's sinking in the sea, and Hudson is out with his brother practicing swimming and stuff, and he notices and he goes to help them. He rescues them. They then spend the summer together, and after that something happens in which she's involved in a car accident with her older sister, and her older sister dies, but she has quite a bad injury as well, and Hudson is nowhere to be seen. 10 years go by. I think it's 10 years if I remember correctly. 10 years go by, and all of a sudden she's back in town again. She's having to recover from an injury from dancing, and she's back in town again. She's recovering at her home, like family home that nobody's living in at the moment, and she decides to come back, and she ends up coming across Hudson's niece, who is looking for her birth mother and thinks it's Ali. And it's just such an interesting story, a look into these 2 different families and how they have ended up coming together and blending, and the messiness of families and how messy families can be, and how warm and inviting one family can be compared to how incredibly messy another family can be. And also a look into like the lifestyle of a ballerina and being pushed so hard as an athlete like a ballerina, how it can affect you mentally and physically and all of that. It was just so interesting. It's such a beautifully told story, and some of the quotes are incredible, and I was obsessed with this from beginning to end. It was so good. I ended up giving it 5 stars. Honestly, it was really good, and I had a very good time with it. And the other book that I did read was The Deep Dark by Molly Knox Ostertag. Again, didn't realize that she had come out with something new, and I really enjoy Molly Knox Ostertag's other stories, so I was very excited for this one. It is a graphic novel. It's not all told in black and white, but some portions are. And I ended up giving this one 4 stars. We are following Mags, who essentially is about to graduate from school, but she already feels like an adult. Her mum is very rarely around. She's dating a new guy and she's staying at his more often than not. Mags is currently looking after her grandmother, who is bedridden at home, and there is this thing in the basement, kind of like this monster in the basement, that Mags has to go down and kind of feed every single night. And a old flame from when she was a kid, essentially an old best friend from when she was a kid, kind of returns and says things like, oh, I had this, I don't know, I feel like I had this dream that there was a monster in your basement and it killed a child in town. And Max is like, no, it was just a dream, that never happened. And it did. And slowly but surely it is Max kind of falling in love with this old flame of hers, and really kind of coming to terms with what is going on with her life and what she wants to do and how to move forward, and does she want to open up to this person, and having these conversations with her grandmother and things like that. And it was so interesting and really, really good, and I really enjoyed it. I really liked the illustration style. It was very, very beautiful, and there is a lot of queer representation in here as well, and I really just enjoyed it. I just love Molly Knox Ostertag's stories. I just think they're fantastic. So really enjoyed this one, gave it 4 stars. And then we get into the Goodreads Choice Awards vlog, in which I read 4 of the books in November. The rest of them were read in December. So if you haven't watched the video yet, I would highly recommend doing so, and I would also truly appreciate it. That video is a feature-length movie, so I understand not everybody's got 2 hours and 23 minutes to watch a video, but I would appreciate it nonetheless, even if you just dipped in and out or you wanted to watch certain sections, you know, I would truly appreciate it. But these are the 4 books that I did read in November for that video. So the first one is The Next Girl by Miko Jean, which is essentially the return of Ellie Black, and this one I ended up giving 3 stars to. I read it, I read the first like 180 pages, I flew through the first 180 pages, put it down for a couple of days, then came back to it, and I read it, and I think at the time I didn't have a lot to say about it, and I ended up having to rethink my review for this one within the video. I did give it 3 stars in the end. I didn't absolutely love this like I'd hoped I would. I think I put this way too high up on a pedestal for some reason, but I did enjoy the writing style. Would definitely read from Miko Jean again. I didn't hate this, I just didn't love it. You know, if you want to see my full thoughts, you can see them in the Goodreads Choice Awards video. Then I did read I Hope This Doesn't Find You by Anne Liang, which I gave 4 stars. This was the YA fiction book, and I really, really enjoyed this. This is definitely like To All the Boys I've Loved Before, but hate emails instead of love letters, and I really, really enjoyed it. I loved the character arcs, I loved the characters in this, and I just had such a good time with it, and I was very, very pleasantly surprised with this one. You're probably sat there going, you didn't read these, this is not the order that these books went in the video. No, they're not. I read them completely out of order and then put them in the order that they were in the Goodreads Choice Awards as far as editing the video is concerned, because this is the last one that's featured in that video. The Third Gilmore Girl by Kelly Bishop, 5 freaking stars. This is definitely going to be in my top 10. I absolutely love this. It was fantastic. Kelly Bishop has had such a fascinating life, and I loved the storytelling of this book. It was so interesting, and I absolutely adored it. 5 stars. And then last but by no means least, is this the last one for the month? Oh no, it's not. I read 5 books, sorry, in November for the Goodreads Choice Awards video. Is because I don't physically own the other one yet, because it's on its way today apparently. I did read The Family Experiment by John Mars, which I gave 4.5 stars to. I really liked this, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it since, to be perfectly honest. Maybe it should be 5 stars. But I know, because I still kind of lost my way a little bit with the ending. But I really like this. I love the storytelling of it. The audiobook was incredible, and I'm very excited to pick up the one and also the Marriage Act and also the Passengers, because that was definitely mentioned in here as well. So I'm really excited to read more from John Mars, and I'm really hoping that I might have found a new like sci-fi thriller author, because I don't read a lot of sci-fi and I would like to pick up more, but I really, really, really enjoyed this. I ended up giving it 4.5 stars. And then the last book that I did read in November was Quicksilver by Callie Hart. Show a picture of it here because my copy's still not come, and I'm livid about this situation. And I gave this one 5 stars. I freaking love this. This was so good. Another one that I did listen to the audiobook for, and I would highly recommend the audiobook. It was so good. Again, the audiobook for both The Family Experiment and Quicksilver could have gone on the audiobook category. I think that they were definitely the types of books that that category should have been made for, and I thought they were very well done and very well produced, and I gave Quicksilver 5 stars. I'm very excited to continue on with this series. I'm actually even excited to reread this book, which it doesn't happen very often. Sometimes I sit there and think, shit, that book was 650 pages, it's the first one in the series, it's only just come out, I don't know when the next one's going to be, and I don't want to have to reread that 650 pages. I finished Quicksilver and I could have started it again. It was that good. I just loved it. I had such a good time and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that was everything that I read in November. Again, if you're interested in any of the vlogs that I've mentioned, I will leave a link to them in the description box down below, but they will have also popped up here as I've gone through each of them. Please, I would highly recommend checking them out. I do love a good vlog, I love filming, but I do yap and I do ramble, so my apologies for that. But I do hope you enjoy them. Let me know in the comments down below what you read in November. What was your favourite book in November? Let me know. I know this has gone up a little bit later than I would normally do my wrap up, but I didn't want to put the wrap up before I'd finished the Goodreads Choice Awards video. I hope that makes sense, because I didn't want to spoil what I was reading for that video. Not that I'm gatekeeping, because I'm not, but I kind of wanted it to be a little bit of a surprise. So I'm uploading this straight after that. I hope you enjoy. Chat to me in the comments down below. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope this hasn't been too long. And I will see you in whatever comes next. Bye for now.